All right, welcome everybody to Flatbuster. My name's Gabe. I'm one of the co-hosts over the live show that we do on Thursday nights. Um, what I'm going to do here today with the release of Elvis this past weekend is I'm going to do my 5 favorite music biopics of all time. These are near and dear to my heart. I could put these on at any time and be satisfied with them. It's part of my musical influence. It's part of my, you know, some of them are going to be part of my heritage in a sense, right? So without much further ado, we have number 5 on the list, and that is going to be The Dirt. The Dirt's a Netflix film. It's based upon the life and how the band formed of Motley Crue. I'm a huge fan of, you know, of hard rock, metal, hair metal, I guess. And Motley Crue is one of the best. They did it the best in that era. Whether it be, drugs, sex, and rock and roll, that was them, twice fold. And this movie, Machine Gun Kelly as Tommy Lee, was amazing. All the actors in this were amazing. It played like basically like the band itself. There's not much more I can say about this movie. If you haven't seen it, I definitely suggest you go on Netflix and go see The Dirt. They play a lot of the great Motley Crue songs of our time, and you can't go wrong with any of Motley Crue songs. At number 4, and this one is going to be a bit of a cheat, and I say this is because it's loosely based on his life. I'm a huge hip hop guy. I was definitely in my late teens, early 20s when he came on my radar, and that is Eminem, and the movie is 8 Mile. Oh my God, did I love 8 Mile when that movie came out. It's still one of my favorites. I put in, I rap to, his verses. I rap to, Clarence, fucking Clarence, and he has really good parents. Man, and he went to Cranbrook. Fuck Clarence. Anyways, with that being said, 8 Mile was just wonderful to see Eminem in this role. To see Brittany Murphy, one of her, I felt like I saw Brittany Murphy in Clueless, and then she did some other things, and all of a sudden, here she was, all grown up and looking pretty sexy, might I say. But anyways, the music in this was phenomenal. You have Exhibit making, a guest star in here. You have Mekhi Phifer. You have Clarence, of course. Who knew fucking Clarence was gonna grow up to be fucking Captain America, right? The Falcon. Anyways, I highly suggest, if you haven't seen 8 Mile by now, go watch it. It's a great behind the story scenes of Eminem and how he made it. And again, it's loosely based, so this one is, yes, it's a bit of a stretch as far as a biopic is concerned, but I like it. I love it. It's on my list. It's my list, not your list. At number 3, and number 3 is she's somebody that I grew up with, listening to music. My parents listened to her music all the time. I listened to her music. I still listen to her music. She is the queen of Tejano music, and that is Selena. And oh my God, Selena, I remember growing up as a kid, and for those of you who don't know the story of Selena, she was murdered by the president of her fan club. And I just remember watching the Mexican news or the Spanish station news, and for days, for weeks, all they talked about was Selena and Selena's murder, and how much Selena meant to the Mexican community, the Hispanic community, right? She was an advocate for Mexican Americans just like myself. She was starting off her own, clothing line. She was branching off to do all these things, and ultimately her life got cut down short. So this movie was done like 2 years after her death, and there's some issues with it that it doesn't tackle, as far as I would say, some of the bad stuff. It obviously sheds Selena in a very positive light, which it should, right? But it's such a wonderful movie. Jennifer Lopez, I remember there was an issue with Jennifer Lopez, and the issue with it was that she was Puerto Rican playing a Mexican actress or a Mexican singer. Uh, but I gotta be honest, Jennifer Lopez killed it, and to this day, Jennifer Lopez, you look at her and she copied, and I would say she copied some of Selena's style, some of Selena's makeup, and she carries on to this day. But she's iconic, obviously. Selena is, and it's a great movie. Watching the story of how she grew up, her rise to fame, and ultimately her death. But yes, I would definitely recommend Selena to anybody who wants to go check out the life of the Tejano princess, the Tejano queen, our Mexican American, you know, role model. Anyways, all right. So coming in at number two. And number two, oh my God, we have another Mexican American, which is based in the 1950s by the name of, Richard Valenzuela, or as many people know him as Richie Valens. The movie is La Bamba. Let me just say, La Bamba, I played that, like, many kids put on like the Disney movies on repeat. I play La Bamba on repeat. Lou Diamond Phillips, man, I grew up thinking Lou Diamond Phillips was Mexican. Like, I thought he was Mexican. It wasn't until later in my like 20s I found out he was actually like Filipino and Native American. But yeah, Richie Valens was a wonderful story about how he grew from nothing and became something. It shows more of his mother. It shows more of his brother, and their struggle, their fights. Freaking you know, S.M. Morales kills it as Richie's brother. He has that wonderful guttural scream towards the end where he finds out that his brother died. It's not really a spoiler there because movie's old as hell, and Richie Valens was going on in the 50s and 60s. So if you don't know by now that Richie Valens died, that's on you. It's not on me. Anyways, he had that guttural cry where he's like, Richie! And then there's like the flashback of him and Richie with the guitar running up the hill, playing around. They have a very tumultuous relationship as brothers. But again, it is a story that resonates with me because, it's a Mexican American up on screen, right? Or Diamond Phillips up on screen. And we play La Bamba. My parents play La Bamba, Richie had this classical sound to him, great guitarist, and then again, another life that was cut down too soon, in my opinion. And I would have wished we could have grown to see what, Selena and Richie could have done in the music world. I mean, my God, it was way too soon for both of them. So number one on the list is a group. It's one of my biggest influences in my life as far as music is concerned. They're one of the first bands I listened to when I branched out listening to my own music, far apart from my parents. And that is NWA, the movie Straight Outta Compton. Oh, that was on my most watched list for so long. And when I came to theaters and I saw it, it was like falling in love with NWA and their music all over again. It was like I listened to it for the first time again, hearing those hits and seeing it all on live action. And what was the best part about it is seeing Ice Cube's actual son, O'Shea Jackson, play him is just culminated like everything for me. Seeing how, they got arrested in Detroit, seeing, the guns, the violence, everything that they had rapped about, from their first album, to their, second album, seeing the beef that Ice Cube had with the rest and seeing him branch off to do his solo stuff, they hear him do the diss track, No Vaseline, to then NWA doing the diss track. Like, it was all involved in this movie. Like, this movie, like, every rumor that you had heard pre-internet that, oh, hey, Ice Cube doesn't like, Eazy-E, and this and that. Like, the movie had it all. Like, they didn't shy away from a lot of it. I'm a huge Eazy-E fan, and so they and sometimes they portrayed him in a way that might have been a little bit sus, but at the end of the other day, you could see the love that they had for Eazy-E. You know, you could see that, you know, they wanted Eazy-E to be come back into the fold. They wanted to redo, you know, the NWA group, but, you know, unfortunately, and again, you know, Eazy-E died. Not another spoiler. Eazy-E died in the 90s. If you don't know this by now, then I don't know what rock you're under. But again, it is a wonderful movie. It is a movie that is close and dear to my heart because it is one of the first rap groups I ever listened to. You know, I still know all the words to, you know, Straight Outta Compton. I could still rap to most of these songs. So with that being said, that is my 5 favorite biopic films of all time. Now that could change, right? I still haven't seen Elvis. Elvis is not one of the artists that I would say that I grew up with or heard much of. So I don't know what to expect out of Elvis. I know I'll see a lot of people, my partners, you know, both Victoria and Tony have given it, you know, good reviews on their letterbox. But I don't know how I'm gonna think about that. I don't know what I think about Elvis. But you know what? If they made me a biopic of Michael Jackson, yo, like give me the true Michael Jackson. Like give me the dirty detail Michael Jackson biopic. Like ooh, I would be there like day one. Like I'll be like, yo, what can I do? Like how can I help this movie further along? Michael Jackson, he's a man, and I'm waiting for that. And I hope that they give me a Michael Jackson biopic. You know, I don't want none of this, you know, feel good Michael Jackson. Give me like the Michael Jackson that we didn't know behind closed doors. But again, with that being said, you know, I want to thank everybody so much for commenting, liking, subscribing to our YouTube channel. It's been a blessing to have over 300 subscribers at this point. You know, now our biggest push is to get 400. So if you want to go ahead and subscribe down below. We have a lot of great stuff planned for this week. And, you know, hopefully we will see you on the live show on Thursday. Peace.